Well, welcome back, everyone. We have Bart and Jennifer Mills here, our local movie reviewers, and today we're going to be introducing you to a movie called Poor Things. And guys, I think it's considered a comedy or maybe a dark comedy. What do you think?
It's definitely a comedy. There's some dark tinges to it, but this is director Yorgos Lanthimos, who did The Favorite and The Lobster. He's fairly famous for sort of coming up with, most of his movies are pretty dark. They're comedies, but there's a darkness to it. This is certainly a lighter version of it, although the subject matter itself is fairly dark. It stars Emma Stone, who's getting a lot of notice, rightfully, for her performance in this. And she is basically, this is a Frankenstein story about a young woman who, Willem Dafoe is this mad scientist from the steampunk 19th century. He creates her sort of out of bits and pieces, a la Frankenstein. And then the rest of the movie is really a coming of age story for her. We get to see her as she comes from basically a toddler in an adult's body into a fully known woman. So, but there's a lot of goofiness and comedy in between, an awful lot of sex, and a lot of surreality as well.
All right, so I did look at the previews for this, and it looked really nice. So the cinematography in it looks brilliant. I mean, what do you think? Like, what about the clips?
The set pieces and the costuming are just fantastical. I mean, they're over the top. The amount of different lenses they use with the fisheye, they flip from black and white to color. There's just a lot to take in, and it's just a fun, incredible world that the director has created for this movie.
Yeah, and I'm always curious because I haven't checked to see how long this movie was. Is it a long movie, short movie? How do you know?
I think it's a little over 2 hours, which is it's becoming the standard today. It's well paced. I mean, there was no time that I looked at my watch. I will say that perhaps the last 20 minutes of it, it gets off track a little bit from that whole coming of age theory, but it's still the movie as a whole. It's really watchable.
Okay, so I will go to our favorite website. You know, it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
they gave it a 93% approval rating. So, what do you think? Do you agree with them?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's a great movie. I think it's really wonderful. Mark Ruffalo is this Chad lawyer, and he's just having a ball, which we don't usually see.
It was hilarious.
And Emma Stone is brilliant, and Willem Dafoe is always just Willem Dafoe being Willem Dafoe.
Being great. it's very funny. You don't get to see him being funny very often.
It's a really well done movie. You have to have a taste for the surreal. And you have to be able to accept a good deal of nudity and sex as part of the storyline. So it's not for everybody, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it's a great movie.
And just because I don't know what the ratings are for this movie, is it? I'm guessing it's rated R.
I assume it's a pretty hard R, yes.
Yeah, so it's a little more of adult content there, but...
it's not for the kids. Okay. No, enjoy it.
All right.
Don't take the kids, don't take grandma.
Yeah. Darn it. All right, so I think I know what you're going to give it, but what do you think? Do you give it a thumbs up, do you give it a thumbs down, or do you give it a thumb sideways?
Thumbs up, absolutely. And it's going to be up for a lot of awards, Oscar season. So, and it won quite a few at the Golden Globe. So I would definitely say if you follow those sort of things, you need to see this movie.
All right. So Poor Things. We're going to go out and see that and maybe put on some blinders for a couple scenes here and there. So, all right. Well, Bart and Jennifer Mills, thank you so much for reviewing the movie for us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, don't go away. We have more when we return.